Welcome to this module. Who is the grantor? The grantor is the creator of the trust. So the grantor is an individual, or it can be a third party who actually creates and funds the trust. The grantor uses this legal arrangement to distribute property and money after the grantor's death. After the grantor's death, the trust becomes irrevocable. When creating this trust, the grantor usually appoints themselves, another person, or an organization to manage the trust and the assets in the trust. So this person or third party is actually known as the trustee. So the word grantor actually means creator, or in a trust, it can also represent the settlor or the trustor. So the grantor or the settlor means the same thing. And the settlor of the trust is the person who creates the trust. This also includes the person who's actually doing the initial funding of the trust, as well as managing the benefits of the trust. So this person sometimes is referred to as the trustor because this person puts all of their envisions into the actual trust contract. So let's discuss the duties of the grantor. So the first thing that the grantor has to do is they have to choose the type of trust that they are going to create. There are multiple trusts that we have previously discussed, so you have to choose which one you're going to create moving forward. There are many different types of unique benefits when it comes to the different types of trusts that are offered. So before you can create a trust, you have to make sure and decide that the trust that you're creating is the best trust that suits your needs. After you have determined what type of trust to create, then you're going to execute the trust creation by arranging the agreements in a contract, all of your desires for the beneficiary, and then executing that contract by getting it notarized. When you are filling the trust with assets, that's one of the duties of the grantor, okay? So the grantor is the creator, but the grantor also is going to transfer assets and money into the trust. So as that initial responsibility, they are going to fund the trust with whatever type of assets they have. So if you have a house, then you're going to deed over the house to the trust. If you have any other type of monetary funds, then you're going to do a transfer once you create the trust fund bank account into that account. If you have a life insurance policy or any type of stocks or cryptocurrency, then what you're going to do is you can actually transfer the ownership from your personal name to the trust name, okay? And keep in mind that these are the duties of the grantor, but you as the trustee can also do these things as well. So now the next duty of the grantor is to appoint a trustee, okay? So the grantor has created the trust, and now they need a second party involved, which is the trustee. So they have to select a trustee, and then what they're going to do is they're going to appoint either a third party company, or they're going to appoint an individual to manage the trust and become the trustee, okay? Next, the grantor will need to name a successor trustee to take over if the trustee becomes unable to manage the trust, meaning if they become incapacitated or if they pass away, then there needs to be a successor. If the grantor does not select a successor, the trustee can also select their own successor. Next, the grantor has to name the beneficiaries. So in this trust document, you are going to be issuing certificate units, and the beneficiaries are the certificate unit holders. So when you are creating this trust, you have to determine who the initial beneficiaries are, because whatever assets you leave behind when you pass away are going to go straight to the beneficiaries. Next, you have to, as the grantor, make decisions on how the trust will be managed by providing instructions on how the trust is administered. So all of these instructions are going to go into the bylaws of the trust. This includes restrictions on how and when assets are distributed to the beneficiaries, such as specific ages or pending certain actions, like maybe if they have to graduate from college, things like that. So the trustee will then manage the trust according to these instructions. So with the trust, you have the declaration of the trust, which means that it's proving that the trust is a living, breathing entity. And then you have the bylaws of the trust, which are the restrictions and instructions created by the grantor that need to be carried out by the trustee. This is the end of this module.